Hi, I'm Vanetta, and welcome back to Island Ripple. I am here with an amazing and beautiful lady. We call her Dr. Jackie,
Aw.
and I love what she introduced herself as, the midwife of purpose.
Amen.
That is awesome. So, welcome to Island Ripple, Dr.
Thank
Jackie.
you so much. This is home.
Yes, we are so excited to have you.
Yes.
Let the people know who you are, what you do. We'll start from there because I know the conversation is going to be scintillating as it is. So,
Well, I'm going to let you lead. But I am Dr. Jackie, a native of St. Lucia. This is home. It's funny as having that conversation today. It's like a full circle day for me, coming back home. But really being in the space of mental wellness, really in the space of breaking generational trauma.
Yes.
And one of the things I've really started doing is really started working with our youth. Giving them opportunities and safe spaces where they can really start talking about their pain, their trauma,
Yes.
and giants that they work with and stuff. But I also work with adults as well, their parents and adults, and really working with, I'm actually going to be doing a mental wellness workshop in terms of self-care for all the counselors on the island, and I'm really excited about that. And I think it's not a matter of talking about mental illness, but let's start moving the conversation about mental wellness.
Wellness, yes. I like that because when you see, you put the word illness in there,
Yeah.
it kind of brings that downward thing, like, and have the person saying, I'm sick.
Exactly.
Something's wrong with me,
Exactly.
So I really like that. So give us a little snippet on like your journey. How did you get to that space of helping people in this way?
Yes. So I've always had a purpose-driven life.
Right.
Well, I've always been praying and asking God, what's my purpose?
Yeah.
And I started with a background in higher education. And even in the capacity of a background in higher education, I've always been working with teens and youth and helping them decide exactly what am I going to do. So I have over 24 years experience working in higher education. And there a time came where exactly for financial reasons, I got phased out of my position. And I started asking God, okay, so what is going on? What's next?
Yeah.
But the nice thing about it, being part of administration, I had the opportunity, the Spirit led me, because I really listened to the Spirit. Start your own business.
Right.
So even though I was looking for another job, I started the company Life Changes.
Life Changes, yeah.
I started the company Life Changes, and basically I got connected with a life coach, and that's why I wrote my first book.
Okay.
So I have 7.
Oh, wow.
And I wrote my first book, and then the Spirit then pushed me to say, you know what, why don't you help individuals write their stories? And that's where the whole midwife of purpose comes from.
Okay.
Because what I'm able to do is that I'm able to take all your puzzle pieces. You know, people say, oh, I am a divorced woman, I have cancer, I have this, we have all those labels. But what I'm able to do is that help you go back down into your story.
Right.
And it's a process called alchemy. Go back down in your story and help you see that if this didn't come into your life, if the pharaohs didn't come into your life, you wouldn't be where you are today. And I'm able to help them put all those puzzle pieces and recraft that into a new masterpiece.
That's amazing.
So it's a healing process, but it's also as a life coach, I'm able to bring them forward into the next best vision, because your story is a story where you can then help somebody else. Because how did you do it?
Yeah.
What were the skills and the strategies you used? And so based on that, you can then help other people cross over.
Okay, so I'm gonna jump on the books.
Okay.
So you said you had 7 books. tell us about the process of those 7. What are those 7 books about?
Right. So what I started as I started my business is I started helping women write their stories. And Colin is one of those authors. He wrote a poem. He wrote a poem in my book as well. But basically it's around helping people write their stories so they get to write their chapters. But I take them through a healing journey.
Right.
And in taking them through that healing journey, then we write their story. So they write about the past, they write about the trauma, but then let's flip it over. Where are you going through? It is a healing process. It's not like where people just write their stories. It's a healing process to move towards a purpose-driven life.
Okay.
And so I have published about 5 of those anthologies. But in addition to that, I've also worked with teens as well, and I'm able to capture some of their stories as well. And I've also published a couple of workbooks. The last one is called the Courage to Soar, which is for teens. It's a workbook for teens to really help them through their social emotional intelligence.
All right. We've been hearing that term a lot, social emotional intelligence. How can that impact, or how can the everyday person, when they hear something like that, how can that, trigger them to become better?
Exactly.
Because somebody will hear that and like, what does that mean? And how does that affect me, as a person?
So I have two companies. I have a for-profit, which is the Life Changers Consultant, which is primarily the mental health piece. And then I have a nonprofit, which is called the Dream Big College, which I have a girl power movement through that.
Okay.
But when we look at I would say my full-time job, what I do is that I've created a social emotional curriculum called the Courage to Soar. And it's a matter of helping when we were younger, we never had the space or even the courage to talk about our pain and our trauma. So it's a matter of creating opportunities where we're teaching teens and adults courage.
Yeah.
What is courage? What is the courage to soar? When we start talking about, I want to do this, I want to do that, but what is the gap in getting to your dreams?
There, yes.
And so there are external giants, and these are things in our environment, and there are internal giants. These are things inside of us. And so we help them define exactly what are some of those external barriers that prevent you from getting to your dreams. What are some of those internal barriers? And internal barriers could be pain, it could be trauma, abuse, molestation. It could be so many different things. So we teach them so really, how do we help them develop the inner core? Because when life comes with everything at you, if your inner core is not developed, you crash.
It's not strong. That's right.
And so it's really helping them to build up that competency in terms of that inner self. Emotional regulation. How do we regulate our emotions? Stress is going to come at you. Life is going to happen. And so it's a matter of teaching them exactly how are you able to go through life, through the ups and the downs, and develop coping skills. So basically, I give them a tool, give them tools for their toolkit.
Awesome. So you spoke earlier about having a full circle moment, coming back to St. Lucia. How has that been? And I got to know she's SJC alumni.
89.
Just like me. All right. So how has it been coming back home, reconnecting with the St. Joseph's Convent? How has that been for you?
So the truth of the story is about maybe 8 years ago, this is the life I dreamed about.
Beautiful.
I dreamt a life whereby I could always come. What year did I come back? That was your 10th anniversary. That's when I did the very first workshop with you. 8th anniversary. 8 years ago, I got the opportunity to partner with Colin. And I think that was my very first time coming back. And I said, I wish I could be doing that often. And for the past year, I've been here every quarter.
That's wonderful.
Every quarter. And I'm like, no, maybe past 2 years. And it's just been amazing. I started working with the teens at St. Joseph's Convent. That must have been about before COVID, I think. And then we had COVID. And then I got the opportunity to do a project with my girlfriend, Lisa. And then we partnered with Genou Credit Union. And I said, you know what, yes, I love working with our girls at St. Joseph's Convent, but I wanted an opportunity to work with other girls.
Other girls, yeah. And
so I have been partnering with Babano Secondary School for the past maybe 2 years now, that same cohort of girls.
Right.
And so they're part of my Girl Power movement. I also did a workshop at Castries Secondary School.
Castries Comprehensive.
Castries Comprehensive. And also Ira. And then we did something in the South as well. There was another school in the South. We did. And then I came back again, and I did Babano last quarter, and I did Babano this quarter again. I mean, this week.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be doing St. Joseph's Convent this week.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really starting that conversation, that creating those safe spaces. And so what with Babano is that we've connected them to our Girl Power movement. And so they're able to get more resources, more workshop, and we're also looking to do some one-on-ones with them as well.
Okay, so you're definitely taking it from the secondary school level in regards to the teenagers.
Yes.
I'm sure like some people will be asking, okay, you're talking a lot about the women. What about the boys, the young boys? Are you doing any work with them?
So,
yeah,
this is my story around this. So we know the African proverb, right? You educate a woman, you change a generation.
Yeah.
You heal a woman, you transform her generation.
Right.
And so what I realized that as women, when you start healing women, healthy women, they're the mothers of those sons. They're the spouses and girlfriends of the men in their lives.
Yes.
And what happens when a woman is healed, she's able to transform everybody around her.
Yeah.
And what I've realized in my writings, as people write their stories, a lot of the trauma happens when they're teenagers.
Ah, okay.
And it takes 11 years before a trauma surfaces, if it's not spoken out or if the child doesn't get into deviant behavior.
That's interesting. 11 years. Okay.
So you get a lot of people who've been carrying a lot of stuff, and it's a matter of, and then what it does, it transfers into their relationships.
Correct.
So sometimes you parent like your parents. You're like, I'll never be like that. Or some of the concerns and fears you may have stems from your parents.
Yeah.
And it may not have been, and where did those fears come from?
Right.
Maybe some past trauma.
Oh, yeah, something from
And
that.
so it's a matter of let's raise that consciousness now. So it's raising that consciousness of exactly how can I start healing myself. So that's why I do girls. I do girls and women. But yet, like I tell you, my full-time job, I have a lot of contracts with schools where I do both boys and girls.
Oh, okay.
So we do, in our Courage to Soar curriculum, is both boys and girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I have a passion for women and girls because I see they could transform and shift and change our generations.
Absolutely. Okay, great. So I know you're doing a lot of work in the schools, but what can we look forward to hearing, or what's happening next for Dr. Jackie?
So
Aside from
my work started with adults.
Yeah.
So my work really started in the sphere of adults and stuff like that. So what's next for me? Really trying to shape that curriculum. I really want that curriculum to operate without me.
Yeah.
And I'm open to really training the staff, training faculty and staff around that curriculum. That workbook, I really want it to go national, internationally. I'm on a global mission.
Yeah.
That's my assignment. Today I was thinking, when the calling overtakes the mission.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Lord, I totally surrender. We were just talking about it in the car. It's amazing. Now I'm a true empty nester. My kids are 21 and 23.
Nice.
So now I have the flexibility
To do what you need to do.
Yes.
That's
So
awesome.
So I think it's just a matter of creating those opportunities, coming to St. Lucia, creating bridges. I would really like to create a healing center in St. Lucia as well. And that's something that I would like to do as well.
Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna let a cat out of the bag. So I know people might be like, so, oh my God, I want to hear Dr. Jackie. So, truth be told, Dr. Jackie is part of the Island Ripple family, so you will be seeing a lot more of her.
Yes.
And she's going to be dropping some jewels,
Inspiration and
inspirational stuff to really help us in our healing
Yes,
process.
yes.
So what can we look forward to? Give them just a little bit of what to expect
So-
on the Island Ripple platform.
So I would say it's a combination of inspiration, but also really helping people move towards the next best version of themselves.
Okay.
Because there are many external and internal factors that keep us from moving into. So I believe, and my mission is to help people become change maker. And what is a change maker?
makers,
A change maker is changing within yourself, changing within your families, and creating impact within your community. And you may be at different levels. I'm also be open to questions as well.
Yeah.
So that's something that at some point we'll put on there. So if people have questions and concerns, they can, when we come on the show, they could ask Dr. Jackie.
Yeah.
And then I'll answer them at the next recording.
Awesome. Wonderful. Okay. So just before we end, let the people know where can they find you. If in the case, they want to work with you on a project, how can they get to Dr. Jackie?
So I'm on all medias, Facebook, Instagram at Dr. Jackie Evans Phillips. They can connect with me that way. On my website at drjackiephillips.com.
Awesome. Dr. Jackie, It's been a blessing.
It is. It is.
A
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you, Collins. Thank you.
Thank
It's been something in the making,
Yeah.
and I think nothing happens before it's time. So
Absolutely.
for my people and for St. Lucia, I'm here.
All right. So of course, as you heard before, we will be having Dr. Jackie here. She'll have her own little segment. As Dr. Jackie, we're excited about that. So thank you so much for joining us today. So everyone, this is the wrap on another amazing interview on Island Ripple. Remember, a little knowledge goes a long way. Pass it on because that's the ripple effect.
Amen. Thank you.